Vito Scarnecchia with Video Ease. Boy, I tell you, sometimes I just get so mixed up. I'm glad, my real estate group or logo brand is called Abitano, mainly because it used to be Scarnecchia Real Estate, and nobody could say Scarnecchia. Scarnecchia. It's not that difficult, but it is what it is. If you're on the East Coast, you know. If you're on the West Coast, you don't. So I went on this pattern of trying to figure out what Abitano was or what I should brand the new name, because Scarnecchia Real Estate just, well, everybody knew Vito, not everybody knew Vito, right? So I went out, I'm like, we have this Intero, we have Sereno, we have all these other O type companies. I'm like, okay, I got to do that, but I want to be A because A needs to be at the top. I'm looking around, and Corey Dunphy, who's a friend, and she's done a lot of work with us, and friend of Karen's. She's like, what the hell is Abitano? I'm like, it means to live. She goes like, I speak Italian. No, it doesn't. I go, I don't know. Look, I went to Google Translate. I said, home. Show me something that says home, living, and it said to live. And it was more like habitat. Abitano, habitat. Italians don't like H much. So anyway, it came. I'm like, that sounds great. Abitano sounds really awesome. It's way better than Scarnecchia. Dealing with it. And so Abitano, ever since then, it's been Abitano. Everything I do is Abitano. Let me show you. Let's see. I used to play hockey back when I was younger, and I had Scarnecchia Real Estate, and now I have Abitano. And if you're nice to me, I'll send you one of these. All right. Today we're talking about balance. My wife has a financial coaching course that talks about financial balance and balancing your books, kind of like running your home like a business and living below your means. And, I joke that I only get $20 a week for my allowance, but that's something we did when we were young, and it's really helped us become semi-successful. So how do you balance it all? How do you balance work, life, relationships, your spirituality, your physical fitness? I do time chunking kind of just because everything I do is through a calendar. I pick up, drop off. My wife picks up, drops off the kids. We're trying to do this, and then we have to schedule. And you guys, we have, I don't know how many minutes in a day we have. We have a ton of minutes every day. We have a ton of hours in every week. We can get a lot done. But I'm also at the point where in my life where, I'm running two businesses and I'm exhausted, and I know that I need to get stuff done for each of these, and I program stuff out. I plan stuff out weeks in advance, knowing that I have to get to that. Like today, afterwards, I have to do a script recording on a teleprompter, which I hate, on my phone because I have to build an ad, and we're reaching out to other businesses saying, hey, let's do video. I'm talking to agencies and saying, hey, bolt on our service to your service so that you don't have to create your own department. So we're creating these different ads, and I read like a 3-year-old or a third grader. And that's the toughest part. And when I talk, you can tell I'm kind of comfortable in front of the camera now, which I wasn't 3-4 years ago. Nowadays, I don't care. But reading, I still get fumbled up, and it takes me like 500 times to practice. So the shorter, the better. Anyway, how do I balance all that? You kind of just do. You kind of have to go through it, right? I was thinking about it yesterday. Been going to church recently, getting really involved in that. I'm enjoying the scripture. I'm enjoying the talks. I'm enjoying the lessons in life. And that's really probably the most important thing. Let me show you this gal right here. There. This is Kirstie Ennis. She's a Marine. I'm a Marine. I don't know if you can see behind me. But I saw her one day in one of the groups. And I was like, what in the heck? What's this girl doing? So I started following her. She was a crew chief on a helicopter in Afghanistan, and the helicopter crashed, and a lot of people in her crew died, and she survived, but she lost her leg. She's been through, I want to say, 60 different surgeries. And you're like, oh, poor Christy. I don't see it that way. I see her as my muse, right? She gets out there and does everything she can. She's climbed, I want to say the Himalayas, but it's probably like K2, something, right? She's tried to climb a couple big mountains. She never made it all the way up, but how many people really do? She's also a pilot in training. She's also a realtor in Denver area. She flips houses with her dad. She's a motivational speaker. This girl just does not quit. She doesn't stop. And every day I wake up, my dog wakes me up at 4:00, so it's time to go to the bathroom. I don't want to do that. And then 5:30 comes around, and I always think about what Kirsty would do, right? Sometimes I don't feel like I want to get out of bed. Sometimes I just want to stay there and not go to the gym. And what would Kirsty do? This girl who's lost her leg, right? She feels sorry for herself. Does she have bad days? I'm sure she does, right? But what does she do? So I put things into perspective. I try to make myself better 1% every day out of these different little things. And that's really the crux of this story today. Now, I've been focusing a lot on my spirituality, trying to understand, easing a lot of anger and issues that I've had and exploring that emotional side. But I also go to the gym an hour a day. I spend some time with myself meditating or reading stories to make myself a better person, right? But I also focus on my businesses. I also focus on my children and the business and getting things done around the house and studying a lot of time on TikTok, which we're going to get into that. So my kids complain that I spend a lot of time on TikTok, and I do spend a lot of time, but I'm studying, trying to figure out what people want, understand different styles, what's working, what's not, because real estate's kind of a boring subject unless you're in it, unless you're looking or thinking about selling and you have to do it. So how do you do stories that make sense, right? That aren't just real estate or just HVAC or just carpet repair or just, you have to come in with a higher perspective and come and bring stuff down. And that's really what I've been working on. And I don't have that completely figured out yet, but that's where we need to be. The other parts of stuff that I do, and then why I go to these churches, is I started adopting a part, trying to get people to show up to park cleanups and show up to help out and show up to do all this stuff. And it was just a real pain to do that around my community. And while I still do the park cleanups, last year we had a barbecue for a little get together for our UPS guy who retired. That was fun. But the whole idea is to offer service to your community. And why do you do that? Selfishly, so you become known as a person that gives, and that helps become a thought leader, helps be top of mind when people come to think, oh, Vito does real estate because I remember he does it. And I had that conversation with him at the party that he threw for the UPS guy that retired, or the cleanup, or the movie night, or the barbecue, or the block party, or what have you. Right. And you're like, well, isn't video enough? Yeah. Video is enough to attract clients coming into the business or into the area. But when you want to work on focusing on selling houses, you have to be a little more proactive about being out there. And that's another thing. Whatever you're doing right now, don't think that video is going to consume everything and take over. Don't stop doing what you're doing. If you're door knocking or doing postcards or cold calling, whatever you've been doing and it's working, continue to do that until your videos take over, right? So keep that in mind. Don't just stop and be like me, where I'm a cat chasing the little red dot all over the walls. Focus on one thing and keep on doing it. Add the other thing, right? Compartmentalize yourself and do it. We'll talk about topics here on other different videos, but there you go. I have also volunteered quite a lot of time at the church that I go to behind the camera. And why do I do that? Because I want to see other people's style. I want to see what other people want. And, it was a brand new thing to me 6 months ago, being behind a camera. And it was a nice professional, high HD, everything, the whole 9 yards. And just yesterday, I went and spent an hour and a half, 2 hours upstairs watching the engineers doing all the cutting and editing live, which is something that was totally foreign to me. But I wanted to spend the time to learn how to do that. Why? Because video is my life for the most part. But I want to know everything about it, right? I want to get proficient at everything. I've spent a lot of time learning how to edit videos and do all that other stuff, all the shorts, and how to do long form, and how to do blogging, and how to do all the other marketing stuff that you have to do. But why not spend that extra time to do that extra stuff, serving, getting to know people, and doing all that stuff too? We have this thing called Beautiful Day where we spend time going out to the community and fixing stuff. And that's the reason I kind of segued around that. The whole thing with the park and being a part of the community there, it's more like you have to pull people. Where with the church, I understand that there's that delineation. With a church, you have a list of ready-made people that are there wanting to serve with you. They show up willingly, wanting to serve. And there's less of a leadership. I've actually taken a leadership position there, but there's less of a leadership position, but you're there all the time. And every chance I get to do something, it's fun and enjoyable, and I meet new people, and that's really what the name of the game is, right? So I'm thinking about joining a couple life groups, checking that out. And yes, I get the scripture, I'm trying to understand that. I'm not a super holy roller Bible thumper guy, but I do want to learn and become a better person. So that's my advantage, right? Family, all that other stuff. So there you go. Okay, 1% better every day. Do I do it every day? Hell no. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. Do I miss out on a couple videos every once in a while? Yes. Do I miss out on a couple sales every once in a while? Yes, because my process isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. I have to accept that, right? Sometimes I just don't feel like doing anything, right? No matter how much the muse that Kirsty Ennis is, sometimes I just don't feel it. All right. I don't know what I was doing with this one. I was all prepared to talk to you about why I'm going live. Oh, that's why. Yeah. This right here, doing one video a day, right? I do 4 lives and then 1 foundational a day. I'm doing this. Now, if I have your attention for this, this is kind of helpful and informative for you. Gary Vee says 186 pieces of content every day. Well, how in the world do you do that? This is how you do it. 1 piece of content that you can scale out to 326 different things. Now let me put my glasses on. Now let me increase this so that we can all see this, right? I don't know what that number Gary says, but you do 1 video, right? And like I said, I do 5 a day. These are not polished at all. There's ums and dead space, and they're not perfect, but that's okay. It's okay. We'll talk about why that's okay in another video. But I have it going to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. This video that you're watching, you're either on, if it's live right now, it's on YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live, or Facebook Live. And I can tell you right now, it's not on LinkedIn Live because this is a brand new streaming service called Melon. Let me get it to you. Let me show it to you. This right here. Yeah. So don't worry about the mirror effect, right? This is Melon. Same thing as StreamYard. Same thing as all the other, there's like 15 of them that are out there that I know of, that I researched. And this one offered the best services. Still getting used to it because I just spent the last year on StreamYard. And we're at 1080p right now. At least I hope we're at 1080p. If we're not, send me a message down below and let me know. This right here allows me to stream to 3 different channels, multiple channels. As a matter of fact, I think on this one is 10. So on Facebook, I think it's going to 3 different channels. Yeah. So you can go all over the place, and the more the better, right? So after this, let's go back to here. After this, it goes to, I download the video and I send it to Descript, which creates the transcript. And then I make it a little bit better through running it through Grammarly, and then read through it, make it sound better in my head, make it read better in my head. And I'm not the best at this, right? And afterwards, I put it in here. I put it in a blog. And this right here is, I want to say that one is that, no, that's just a video. Oh, that's just a picture. And then I also go and upload it to Spotify, which is Anchor, right? So why am I doing that? Well, do I get a ton of people watching those things all the time? No, but I get enough, and I get a lot of comments. And here's the point. I want to be everywhere all the time, right? I have a different strategy than just attracting buyers, relocation buyers. I want people to know who I am all over the place. And I don't want to be the celebrity. I don't want people to think that, I'm a celebrity. I want to be everywhere all the time. When people are searching for specific stuff, I want them to see me everywhere. And it's important to be everywhere all the time. It's scaling out. I don't want to just be on YouTube. YouTube's great, but I also want to be on podcast. I want to be on blog. Why? Because it's searchable, right? And why not? If I search something and Google happens to see 326 iterations of the same thing, all coming from me, I must be a little more important than the one person that just does YouTube, right? Then we can cut these into shorts. Now I'm talking for 17 minutes already, and I'm sure that there's going to be 4 or 5 different little shorts, 30 seconds to a minute. I don't suggest you go and have big, long diatribes, because on TikTok now you can go 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Don't do that. Just keep it short. So you whet their appetite, and then you point them to your channel so they can watch your videos and get to know you a little bit more, right? And then once a week, you send it out to your email list as you're building an email list. And this is the big thing right here. We'll show you that in another video, but you want to build an email list. You want to keep in touch with them. And I'm not talking about those annoying once a day type, oh, we're going live, better come back in 5 minutes. I don't care if you come back I don't want people to watch me every day. I want more people to see me every once in a while live. Okay, so go back to the shorts, right? With shorts, you can go, I should make this YouTube, right? TikTok, and then Reels, which is Instagram. Let's say you do 5 times 3. There's 3 times 3 different platforms here. And you can do Clapper. You can do all these Parler. And I don't care whatever the political thing is. It doesn't matter, because those are growing. Why not use them, right? There's Clapper and Parler. And I don't know. There's probably 20 other ones, right? So that can actually be 5. And guess what? Now you just extrapolated up to a whole lot more. I don't know why it didn't go up more. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And then those can all be created and sent to social platforms, right? And those could be done once a day. Who cares? You can time each of those out. You can go get Hootsuite. You can use all sorts of stuff, or you can have us do it for you, right? Now, do I do this every day? I get to a certain point where I'm building this out, and then I have my assistant take it out, because I still want a little bit of control. I'm still trying to figure out the process. But this is allowing me to scale myself out. 376 touches every day. 375, or let's just cut it in half, right? You are not on Facebook 24 hours a day. You're not on TikTok 24 hours a day. You're not on YouTube 24 hours a day, right? Your platforms, YouTube is there all the time. That's more of a search engine, but Facebook is a time limit. All right. The more often you post, the better. So if you post 5 times a day or 20 times a day, you're constantly throwing out new content, Facebook is going to continue to push you up higher because you become a contributor and then you become an influencer. It's getting a little bit more difficult these days. Does this work? I'm betting myself on it. Am I getting business? Yes. Just got a $2 million listing. Well, $2.3 million listing, but it's probably going to be between $2 and $2 million. Yes, it works. You have to believe that it works. And you have to keep on doing stuff that changes stuff up. It can't be static. Do I believe that one video a week is good? Absolutely. I think doing one video a week on YouTube is great. That's a great start. You should be posting 3 videos. Get yourself up to doing 3 videos a week. I'm not saying do it right now. And all that stuff that I showed you before, don't think you're going to jump into it and do it right away. Stagger yourself. Do one thing at a time. Take a little bit of a bite. Get 1% good at that. And get 1% better at it. And then 1%. And then when you stabilize on that, take another chunk. You have time to do this. You have the time to do this. Start now. All right. That's it. 22 minutes. I'm Vito Scarnecchia, and I didn't take off my logo for that. I'm Vito Scarnecchia with Video Ease. We'll see you out there.